All right. Good evening, USA, International Canada, Long Island, aka Strong Island, the tri state areas of New Jersey and Connecticut, and alongside with the five boroughs of Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, and Queens. This is your man and homie, G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator. Rhymes with now or later. Your host with the most, misunderstood, lonely nomad, unstoppable independent podcaster, creator, YouTuber, and of course, Queens, New York native, who is also a New York Mets fan and New York Giants fan from the neck of the woods of Laurelton, Queens, New York. You are now rocking with me by listening, streaming, tuning in, and watching the 110th episode of the Sports Edition show. Excellent, fun, vibrant talks podcast. The the platform for baseball news, including the New York Mets, basketball news, including the New York Knicks, and a little bit of everything, and a little bit of football news as well as the New York Giants as well, even though they're not doing too good right now, actually. 2-13 right now, actually, which is crazy. And they got like 3 to 2 games left. Uh they got 3 to 2 games left, man. That's just crazy, man. Yeah, so we are live and direct from StreamYard alongside with YouTube and in the comfort space where I do my podcast recordings. All right. Um, so yeah, listen, if you missed episodes 104 through 109, please make sure you actually check those episodes out. I'm pretty sure there's some topics that I actually covered already. And in case you missed it, don't forget to even hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel page, the YouTube Sports channel page to be exact. Yes, so make sure you leave a like and a comment along with the sports topics. Tell me how you feel about the topics in each episode whatsoever. And yeah. Also, don't forget to leave a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts alongside with a review. It really helps the show and gives me the confidence for content creators and hosts like myself to actually continue to grow and continue to make more content and 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 of course make make up some new topics in sports. And I hope y'all are keeping yourselves warm whatsoever though, man. It is very cold. Today's the first day of winter. And of course, I'm pretty sure everybody is like, trying to get their shopping on with Christmas around the corner. Make sure you take care of that. And you know, you know, I want to get started with a crazy I want to get started with the rumor involving Cody Bellinger and stuff. So I want to get started with this one right here. No, hold on. That's not it. All right, rumor alerts in the air. All right. Here we go. All right. In case you're wondering what the hell's going on in the whole Cody Bellinger sweepstakes and stuff, I'll fill you in. I'll get to the football stuff after. Actually, I'll get to the football stuff after. Um, yeah. All right. So, um, let's see. Cody Bellinger. Here we go. So here's what's happening here. So there's been some chatter involving Cody Bellinger, and I think the latest story is so basically, oh boy. So hold on a second. So so on December 17th, which passed already, are the Yankees the favorites in the Bellinger sweepstakes? The Yankees, Mets, and Dodgers are considered Bellinger's most likely landing spots in that order, according to MLB Network Radio's Jim Bowden. However, however, there may be other teams involved for the lefty slugger, as Bowden calls his market robust. Hmm. This is quite wow. So, man, let me see. There's been some chatter actually. There's been some postings and stuff. Um, and of course, resigning Bellinger remained the Yankees' top priority following last week's winter meetings, but they will have to fight off at least a couple other big market contenders to bring him back to the Bronx. um, yeah. So the question was posted: is Belly more likely to end up with Mets after Alonso's exit? Well, let me just say this though, man. Let me just say this though. I don't think I don't think Cody Bellinger is going to the Mets, man. And and I say this because we we know that we know that David Stearns, aka Frankie Coupons, don't do long deals. And I'm starting to feel like he's too scared to take a big leap. He's too scared to actually take a risk. So that's just plain crazy to me. So this question was posted on MLB.com. So and the Mets and their fans watched franchise icon Peter Alonso depart for the Orioles on Wednesday as he agreed to a 5-year deal worth $155 million. I'll get to that after actually. Um there's only one marquee free agent who can help at either spot, Bellinger. The Mets the Mets already have reported interest in the 30-year-old, but in the wake of Alonso's decision, Bellinger is now an even better fit for the Mets, according to MLB Network insider John Paul Morosi. Well, I don't know, man. So it's crazy. I'm not too familiar with John Paul Morosi. A lot of times, you know, there's some sports reporters that actually will get this shit wrong. And as I was watching one of Wardy's live streams, and he went in on John Morosi. He really let him have it though, man. He really did though. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm really not going to hold you because yeah, he was really spitting facts. He was really spitting facts though, man. And it's just crazy though, man. It's very crazy. And yeah, you can check out one of his live streams on Wardy NYM, where he covers the New York Mets, what his off seasons, rumors and game post games and pre games and stuff. So yeah, there you go, right there. Look, yeah, and I know there's more to this story involving Cody Bellinger in regards to the recent signing of the recent signing of um Trent Grisham, if that's his name. Wait, Wait. Trent Grisham. Let me find that out. Hold on. Trent Grisham. Let me see this thing. Cause okay. Hold on a sec. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Wait. Trent Grisham signing. Re-signing. Hang on 1 second. They cost the Yankees. Cody Bellinger. Let me see. Okay. Let me see. Let me second. Wait a second. Yeah, okay. The New York Yankees outfield could see a drastic overhaul this winter. Cody Bellinger and Trent Grisham may depart in free agency, leaving general manager Brian Cashman with the un- unenviable task of replacing 63 home runs and reliable outfield glove work. Grisham's decision will be the most fascinating because if he does reject the qualifying offer and bet on himself, what type of deal does a 30-year-old lefty with one stellar season at the plate preceded by a myriad of lackluster years get? Also, um, who ultimately pays him? Nah, because yeah, I did see. Hold on a second. Um, Grisham City Astros. Nah, actually heard that he got re-signed to the Yankees, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he got re-signed. Hang on 1 second, man. Let me just look this up before I even. Let me look this up actually. Hang on 1 second. Hang on 1 second here. Yeah. Okay. So, wait a minute here. Did he accept the offer? Let's take a look. Okay, he resigned. Hold on. Yeah, yes, Trent Gresham accepted a 1-year, 22 million qualifying offer to return to the Yankees for the 2026 season. Okay. So that clears up the that clears up the that clears up the that clears up part of the rumor. But let me see. As for Cody Bellinger's case, I doubt that like I said before, I doubt that he's going to the New York Mets because the fact of the matter is, yes, he could play multiple outfields, but I don't think he's going to be playing first base though. You see, the thing is, like I said before, I don't think I don't think David Stearns is going to give him a long-term deal. The same goes with Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker is looking for a 10 or 11-year deal, and I don't think the Mets are going to give it to him. And I don't think that Frankie Coupons, aka Stearns, is going to actually do that. And you know what? And like I said, man, like I just feel like this whole run prevention shit is like it's like a fucking ploy. It's a ploy. You know what I'm saying? It is a ploy, and I'm really starting to feel like it's not what it seems. You feel what I'm saying? And I'll just say this though, man. I'll just say this. He's a scaredy cat. He's afraid of going against the grain, and he's afraid of taking a big risk. And yes, it would be a pipe dream to think that Cody Bellinger is going to come to the Mets, but we can dream all we want though, man. But until then, this is more of a wait and see, and just take it with a grain of salt, man. By the way, guess whose agent? Guess who the agent is that's going to be in charge? That's the same agent as Pete Alonso, Scott Boris, the same agent that Mark Vientos just hired, which I'll talk about that in a following future episode. So I'll save that for a future episode. All right. So yeah, that takes care of the rumor of that takes care of the rumor of Cody Bellinger. All right. All right. Time for the quick side bleacher bar. All right. Time for the quick side bleacher bar. Hold on 1 second. All right. Before I get started on one of the New York Giants topics and stuff, I w- I will be right back to get some water. All right, just hang on. Sorry about that, folks. I had to go get my water real quick. Anyway, New York Giants has been getting a lot of bad news lately with all the losing streaks. The losing streak has been increased to um 13 losses. They're 2-13 now. So they got 2 games left actually. So let's get to this right here, man. All right. So somehow, some way, New York Giants general manager Joe Schoen thought he could pull off the most ridiculous of mental gymnastics. He would drop enough cliches to make it seem like he was taking the blame for another heinous season, while dropping hints that the moves he made simply did not work out through no fault of his own. The reality is that his Giants are not only 2-11, but they're 2-13 right now. After 7 straight losses and are the first team eliminated from playoff contention for the second straight year. Big Blue is 4-25 during that stretch. Damn. Damn. All right. 2 wins is not where we want to be right now. Damn. Oh shit. It's good enough, Sean said. I understand the frustration from fans, ownership, the people inside the building. Nobody is more frustrated than myself. It starts with me, and I'm tasked with trying to get this organization going back in the proper direction. The standard is to compete for championships year in and year out. And that's the plan moving forward. So we're going to look at everything: free agency, the draft, coaching, finishing, execution on the field, whatever it may be. We're going to look at all avenues in order to get this franchise back to where it belongs. Yeah, it's gonna wow. I mean, it's gonna take some time to do a little retooling and stuff though, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Rome wasn't built in a day. These retooling process takes time, man. You know what I'm saying? I hope you feel what I'm saying. So that's just like it's gonna take a long time though. Anyway, so this is the same tune that Sean has sung for the last 3 years while continuously building duds of football teams. He spent $215 million in free agency, specifically bolstering the defense by acquiring Paulson Adebo and Javon Holland. Hmm. Yeah. The defense ranks 30th, and they fired coordinator Shane Bowen because of it, all along with his 5 disastrous fourth quarter collapses this season. The majority of his draft picks have been significant whiffs. Cornerback Deontay Banks is nothing short of a liability. Offensive lineman Evan Neal can't stay healthy and simply is not good enough when he's on the field. And wide receiver Jalen Hyatt still can't properly run routes after 3 pro seasons. Number 3 overall pick Abdul Carter has been benched twice in the last 3 games, which is more than the 1.5 sacks he has picked up through the first 13 games of his professional career. Shit. Um, Defensively, after we were 30th last year at this time, and the addition of Abdul Carter, Paulson, Adebo, Javon Holland, Chauncey Golston, Roy Robinson Harris, we're in that same area, unfortunately, Sean said. I didn't anticipate we'd still be 30th in the league in defense at this point with the addition of those players. And we have to do a better job of executing, a better job of finishing games. And I've got to do a better job with the personnel. Somehow, this is enough for co owner John Mara to not only retain Sean for the rest of the season, but also to allow him to lead the search for the team's next head coach after firing Brian Dable following the Giants' Week 10 loss to the Chicago Bears. What head coach would want to come to an organization that can't get out of its own way, can't consistently develop talent, and has a general manager who has made nearly everyone else in the organization the scapegoat? Simply put, there is no one else to point the finger at but Showen. Allowing him to muddle up the Giants with his fingerprints feels like malpractice at this point. Wow. 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 Um, okay. So let me see what else I got on the agenda. What else I got on the agenda? Let me make sure I don't miss out on any topics. Just um Yeah. Okay. Come on. Give me a sec. Okay. Wait for it. Okay. Okay, let's see. All right, let's go to the New York Knicks. Let's go to the New York Knicks. Actually, of course, another rumor I forgot to mention actually in regards to Ben Simmons. All right. So the Knicks have been linked with veteran guard Ben Simmons to bolster the depth of their backcourt, but they have yet to offer him a contract. SNY's Ian Begley was the first to relay that New York has not submitted a formal offer shortly after Mark Stein reported that Simmons rejected a deal sent over by Leon Rose and Co. Simmons is currently a free agent and is reportedly questioning his future in the NBA after 7 seasons and failed excuse me after failed excuse me after 7 seasons and failed expectations. All right, sorry for the tongue twister, folks. Just keep up with me. Just bear with me. The former new number one overall pick failed to stick in Philadelphia with the 76ers and was traded to the Nets in the James Harden deal during the 2021-22 season. He appeared in just 90 games across 3 different seasons with the Nets and averaged 6.5 points, 6.3 assists, and 6.2 rebounds per game. He was bought out last season and finished up with the Los Angeles Clippers. The Knicks are looking for one more guard to add to their rotation under new head coach rather, Mike Brown. Jordan Clarkson should serve as Michael Bridges' primary backup at the shooting guard spot. At point guard, however, Jalen Brunson's backups consist of Deuce McBride and Tyler Collette. Per Bagley, the Knicks have also explored reuniting with Landry Shamet, who spent last season with the team. Veteran guard Malcolm Brogdon has also been linked with the team. The 32-year-old has played for 4 different teams over the last four years, most recently averaging 12.7 points and 4.1 assists per game in 24 contest with the Washington Wizards. He was the 2022 to 23 NBA Six Man of the Year with the Boston Celtics. Ah, man. Let me see. Let me make sure I don't miss out on anything. Yeah, and of course, obviously, Russell Wilson got benched more than twice now. while um while Jackson Dart was out with a concussion. But he returned already. So he's already back. All right. So anyway, let's get to I'll get to the rundown of the New York Giants and the New York Knicks in a couple minutes actually. So let's get into let's get into a baseball player that's like off the market, Josh Naylor. Okay. Okay, Josh Naylor. Actually, 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 before I even go to Josh Naylor, um, we got a passing that we got to talk about. Hold on one second. All right, and this is from USA Today. Davey Johnson, a longtime player and Major League Baseball manager who led the New York Mets to the World Series title in 1986, has died at the age of 82. Jeez, man. Of course, Johnson, who played in the majors from 1965 to 1978 with the Baltimore Orioles, Atlanta Braves, Philadelphia Phillies, and Chicago Cubs, was a four-time All-Star. Earned three gold gloves. Um, and let me see what else. Let me see what else. Yeah, yeah, three gold gloves and won two World Series as a second baseman with the Orioles. Let's see. He managed the Cincinnati Reds, Orioles, Los Angeles Dodgers, and Washington Nationals, earning Manager of the Year honors in 1997 and 2012. He finished with 1,372 career managerial wins and 25 postseason victories. But Johnson's time is best remembered for managing the talented and sometimes volatile personalities of the 1986 Mets, who won 108 games and beat the Boston Red Sox in an epic seven-game World Series battle. End quote. I'm deeply saddened by the loss of Davey Johnson, a remarkable leader who transformed the Mets franchise into a winning organization. Um, Quoted by Darryl Strawberry, a member of the 1986 Mets, wrote on social media. His ability to empower players to express themselves while maintaining a strong commitment to excellence was truly inspiring. Davey's legacy will be etched in the hearts of fans and players alike. My heartfelt condolences go out to Susan Johnson and the entire Johnson family during this difficult time. He will be missed, but remembered for his incredible impact on the game and the lives he touched. Love you forever, Davey Johnson. Let's see. He was hired by the Mets in 1984. I wasn't born at that time. Um, Taking over a team that had finished 68 and 94 the previous year. He then went on an unprecedented run, becoming the first manager in Major League Baseball history to win 90 games or more in each of his first five seasons. His 1997 Orioles team won 98 games, but they lost in six games in the American League Championship Series to the Cleveland Indians, who are now the Cleveland Guardians. He made the postseason one last time in 2012 with the Nationals, who won the NL East before they were eliminated in the division series by the St. Louis Cardinals. So SIP to Davey Johnson. All right. Now, now we can talk Josh Naylor. Now we can talk Josh Naylor. First baseman Josh Naylor has signed a 5-year contract to return to the Seattle Mariners In other words, he's not coming to the Mets, folks. So that's a pipe dream. Unfortunately, the team announced Monday, reuniting one of the best free agent bats available with the team that made re-signing him its top off-season priority. This is according to ESPN. The deal locks up Naylor through the 2030 season, includes a full non-trade clause, and is worth $92.5 million. That's $92.5 million. Oh, wow. That's an insane fucking amount of money, man, for a baseball player. Wait for it. All right. Yeah. $92.5 million with no deferral, sources told ESPN. Acquired at the trade deadline by the Mariners, the 28-year-old Naylor made an immediate impact offensively, defensively, and on the base paths, solidifying a position that had been a weakness for Seattle. End quote. I'm going to be a Mariner again, and I couldn't be more excited, said Naylor in a statement released by the team. From the moment I arrived, everyone in the organization welcomed and helped me. The players brought me in and loved my game right away. And the fans were incredible. Seattle has the best fan base in baseball. They are electric and support us through and through. And I couldn't be more thankful for that. I can't wait to continue to play with these guys and bring the city a championship. The 5-year deal is the first major signing of baseball's off season and adds Naylor to a strong Seattle core that helped the Mariners reach Game 7 of the American League Championship Series. He joins AL MVP runner-up Cal Rayla, star center field, star center fielder star center fielder Julio Rodriguez, and a deep Mariners rotation as they look to reach the first World Series in franchise history. Yeah, not sure that's gonna really happen. But anyway, with his high motor and infectious energy, Naylor immediately found a home in Seattle. In 54 games with the Mariners, Naylor hit 299, 341, 490 with 9 home runs, 33 RBIs, and 19 stolen bases in 19 attempts. A, a solid average defender at first base, he helped the Mariners win their first division title since 2001, and then hit 340 with 3 home runs in 12 postseason games. Combined with 93 games with the Arizona Diamondbacks this season, the left-handed Naylor hit 295, 353, 452 with 20 home runs, 92 RBIs, and a career-high 3.1 WAR. And an aggressive hitter with excellent contact skills. Naylor ranked in the top 20 in lowest strikeout rate among qualified batters. The most shocking part to Naylor's season, he was 30 for 32 in stolen base attempts, despite registering as one of the slowest runners in the majors, ranking in just the third percentile in sprint speed. Naylor would often get a walking leadoff first base and was perfect in stolen base attempts with Seattle, even as teams became more aware of his tactics. The Diamondbacks had acquired Naylor last offseason from the Cleveland Guardians, where Naylor hit 31 home runs in 2024 and made the All-Star team. Over his 7-year career, Naylor has hit 269, 329, 447 with 104 home runs, 435 RBIs, and 55 steals, appearing in 4 postseasons. Originally drafted in the first round as the number 12 pick by the Miami Marlins in 2015 out of Missy. Wait, Miss Mississauga, Canada. Naylor is the oldest of 3 baseball playing brothers. Bo Naylor, drafted number 29 in 2018, is a catcher with the Guardians, and younger brother Miles was the number 39 pick in 2023 and is a third baseman in the athletic system. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. And speaking of which though, man. Speaking of which though, I didn't get a chance to add this to the episode description, but this is pertaining to a Japanese baseball player who goes by the name. I'm gonna try to pronounce it the best way I can. Um, the best way I can actually. So, the name is Munek Munetaka Murakami, and this is from Sports Illustrated that was posted 8 hours ago. The White Sox are signing third baseman um, Munetaka Murakami from Japan on a 2-year, $34 million deal. ESPN's Jeff Passan reported on Sunday Murakami will play first base in Chicago. That's exactly what and shout outs to Jolly Olive from Shea Station podcast with Jerry Blemons. Actually, I actually saw a notification that about the Japanese player that got signed to the White Sox. So shout outs to him, and of course you can check out Shea Station podcast on every streaming platforms. All right, and on YouTube as well. So subscribe to that channel. All right. Murakami drew interest from various MLB teams, including the Red Sox, but Chicago ended up with the Japanese star with little time to spare as his signing window was set to end on Monday. Passan added that Murakami could have gone with a long-term, low-dollar deal, but he decided to choose a short-term, high-dollar contract. The 25-year-old was a 2-time home run leader in Japan's Nippon Professional Baseball's Central League. He hit 39 home runs in 2021, followed by 56 home runs, aka 56 homers, hit in 2022, which is the most home runs hit in a single season by a Japanese-born player in the league. Murakami captured the Triple Crown in 22 after posting league highs with 134 RBIs and a batting average of 318. Murakami was due to come over to MLB as he signed a 3-year deal with the Tokyo Yakult Swallows. Oh, what? What? Your baseball team is named Swallows. Oh shit. Oh man. Oh my gosh. That's funny. That's funny, man. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Oh man. Oh man. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Okay. The White Sox, who went 60 and 102 this past season, are in need of a player with big star power and presence on the field. Murakami might be the answer to this gap. Additionally, the White Sox will have the first pick in the 2026 MLB draft to get another young superstar in July. Yeah, yeah, I'm not too sure when that particular draft starts on in 2026. I'm not too sure about that right there. Um, so we'll have to wait and see what happens here. All right. So yeah, so there you go, man. Murakami signs a 2-year deal with the Chicago White Sox. All right. Let's see. What else? Okay, let's talk about some splashes that the Mets acquired recently, actually. So let's see. Let's see what they acquired. All righty then. Let me see something here. Hold on. Let me see. Um, let me see where and let me see. Hold on. Let me see something here. Cause hang on. They who are they? I know Jose Rojas. I'm trying to look for that story. Let me look for it right here. Let me look for it right here, actually. Mm, okay. Um, Hold on 1 second here. See if I can find it. It's a story because I saw it somewhere. Hold on. All right, let me just look for that story. Hold on a sec. They required who they required? They required Jose Rojas and Jeff and Jackson Cluff. Okay. Jose Rojas and Jackson Cluff acquired to the New York Mets on minor league deals. Okay. All right, so here we go. Yes, so the Mets announced that they signed infielders Jose Rojas and Jackson Cluff to minor league deals with invites to spring training. Rojas has 83 games of major league experience with the Angels, owning a 584 OPS. Shit, that doesn't sound fucking good either. Cluff spent 2025 with the Nationals AAA squad, recording a 771 OPS. That sounds pretty better than 584. All right, the Athletics Ken Rosenthal argues the perfect storm is brewing for the Mets to lose Edwin Diaz in um, free agency, and latest, yeah. That's just crazy, man. Anyway, this is just beyond crazy, though, man. I'm actually going to talk. I'm actually going to actually talk about that probably some other time. Who knows, man? There's gotta be some more information about this actually. So this is what I'm getting at here. So of course, obviously, yes, they added some potential minor league depth Friday, signing utility infield Jackson Cluff to a minor league deal with an invitation to the major league spring training. The 28-year-old has spent his entire career in the minors with Washington. He appeared in 103 games with their AAA Rochester affiliate with a 771 OPS, playing second and third and shortstop. He likely will compete for a spot at AAA Syracuse. If Clough is needed in Queens, something has likely gone wrong. But the Mets have several questions regarding their infield as the offseason progresses. At the top of the list is the future of Pete Alonso. I'll talk about that in a future episode of how they got they got traded to a different team and walked off. So I'll talk about that in another episode. They have Francisco Lindor at shortstop, but Brett Beatty, Mark Vientos, Ryan Mauricio, and Luis Angel Acuna haven't found spots where the Mets feel comfortable using them every day. And Jeff McNeil has lost a step defensively. Ah, yeah, that can't be surprising too, man. That can't be surprising. And yeah. So, all right, so minor leagues. That sounds like a start to me though, man. That sounds like a good start though. So, um let me see something here. Let me see. Because they had um I don't think it's yeah, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Jose Rojas to a minor league deal. Yeah. Minor league deal. Yeah, let me see. Let's see. Of course. Hang on a second here. Yeah, Jose Rojas and Jackson Cluff. Okay. So Rojas spent the 2025 season with the New York Yankees AAA affiliate and put up big numbers. Over 124 games, the 32-year-old hit 287 with a 379 OBP. Not sure what that means, but 978 OPS, 32 home runs, and 105 RBIs. If I look up OBP and OPS, I will circle back in one of the episodes to let you know what that means. Originally drafted by the Los Angeles Angels in the 36th round, 36th round back in 2016, Rojas worked his way through their system and appeared in 83 major league games for Los Angeles between 2021 and 2022. He struggled during that stretch, hitting just 188 with a 245 OBP, 584 OPS, and 6 homers. Of course, obviously, Jackson Cluff, age 28, has spent his entire career in the Washington National system. He played 103 games for AAA Rochester in 2025, posting a 771 OPS while rotating between second, third, and shortstop. And I'm not going to really get into the McNeil stuff, actually. Um, I'm not going to get into the McNeil stuff. Probably wait. Probably wait for probably wait. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Let me see what else. Hold on. Let's see. Let's see. What else? What else? Oh, I'm pretty sure many of you probably remembered Nate Lavender, right? So, according to the Sporting News, the New York Mets' Nate Lavender has taken a fascinating path. In 2023, he had a 2.98 ERA combined across AA and AAA. That offseason, the Mets didn't add Lavender to the 40-man roster, and he was eligible for selection in the Rule 5 draft. The Tampa Bay Rays chose Lavender, but he was injured for all of 2025 and didn't pitch in the Tampa Bay organization. That meant the Rays could have carried Lavender's Rule 5 rights into another season. Instead, they opted to return him to the Mets, the Rays announced on Wednesday. Lavender is still just 25 years old, out of Illinois, and was a great strikeout pitcher and when last healthy for a full season in 2023. He had an internal brace procedure in May 2024 and hasn't pitched in organized baseball games since, which suggests some kind of setback at some point. The Rays decided they weren't going to stick it out with Lavender for another year. So now he's the Mets situation to figure out. It seems like the Mets will want to see what Lavender can give them during the spring. Given his time off, Lavender's safe bet would be that he'll begin the season at AAA Syracuse. New York even now is skeptical about Lavender's health until he's back out there on the mound. In the end, this feels a bit like a little bonus pickup for the Mets. They didn't necessarily expect to have Lavender back, but now that he's in town, they'll try to make the most of things with him. All right, so let's see. Okay, what else? What else did the Mets acquire? Yeah, they hired Justin Willard. Let me get to Justin Willard for a sec. Actually, I do have him in my topics. Let's see. Oh, there we go. There we go. All right. So the Mets' search for a new pitching coach has reached the finish line. Justin Willard, the Red Sox director of pitching, is set to assume the pitching coach duties with the Mets. An industry source confirmed to the Posters Joel Sherman on Saturday. The 35-year-old Willard will replace Jeremy Hefner, whose 2026 club option was declined as part of a coaching staff shakeup following the Mets' second half collapse. Willard will be in charge with restructuring Kodai Senga, Sean Manaea, and David Peterson in particular. All three starters took a nosedive in the second half, a significant factor in the team cratering, culminating with a loss on the final day of the season in Miami that kept the Mets from clinching a National League wildcard berth. With the Red Sox, Willard worked under pitching coach Andrew Bailey and was credited for bolstering the organization's infrastructure with the use of new technology. Willard previously served in minor league roles in the Twins organization. The Mets are also set to name a female coach with the organization. According to a source, the club is set to hire Rachel Folden as the hitting coach at Double-A Binghamton. Folden this season was a hitting coach in the Cubs minor league system. Folden, age 38, became a consultant for elite baseball training after concluding a fast-pitch softball career. Folden's first foray into professional baseball was with the Cubs in 2019, running the organization's Arizona hitting lab. At the major league level, the Mets recently named Jeff Albert as the director of hitting and hired Troy Snicker as a hitting coach. Eric Chavez and Jeremy Barnes served as the hitting coaches the last two seasons, but both were fired last month with 1 year remaining on their contracts. So basically they both went to the Atlanta Braves. They both went to the Atlanta Braves. The Mets also hired Kai Correa as bench coach after John Gimmons stepped aside from his duties. The team has not named a third base coach to replace Mike Sarbo, whose contract was not renewed. The Mets are also expected to part ways with the first base coach, Antoine Richardson, who is a free agent after the two sides couldn't reach agreement on a new contract. Richardson was credited with the team's base stealing success this season, particularly Juan Soto's career high 38 stolen bases. Yeah, change is hard. I know change is fucking hard though, man. You know what I'm saying? Change is fucking hard. I get it. Let's see. If there's anything else. I need to talk about regarding the Mets. Actually. Oh, wait. I could talk about the Mark Vientos thing. No, hold on. No. Hold on 1 second here. There's gotta be something else I could talk about too. Let's see. Okay. What the hell? Wait a minute. This was unexpected here, man. What the fuck? Steve Cohen is spending money. The Mets will be hit with the second highest luxury tax bill in baseball in 2025 after the world champion Los Angeles Dodgers, according to figures finalized Friday by MLB and the Players Union that were obtained by the Associated Press. New York will pay $91.6 million, raising their total tax owed over the last 4 years under Cohen to $320.3 million per the AP. The Dodgers will pay $169.4 million, breaking the high the organization set last year of $103 million. Los Angeles has paid the tax for 5 consecutive years. The news ironically breaks on the same day that Cohen took to social media to tamp down concerns about the Mets potentially cutting payroll. The Mets total payroll of $346.7 million included $369,886 in non-cash compensation for Juan Soto, whose 15-year pact included the use of a luxury suite, up to 4 premium tickets and personal team security for him and his family. Shohei Ohtani's deal with the Dodgers included $949,244 in non-cash compensation for a luxury suite at home games and an interpreter, the AP reported. The Mets and Dodgers are 2 of 9 teams that will pay the luxury tax. Teams will pay a total of $402.6 million in luxury taxes, about $90 million more than last year's record, $311.3 million. The other luxury taxpayers per the AP: Yankees $61.8 million, Phillies $56.1 million, Blue Jays $13.6 million, Padres just under $7 million, Red Sox and Astros $1.5 million each, and the Rangers $190,000. And those bills are due January 21st. Wow. Wow. That's fucking insane. That's fucking insane, man. That's really insane. Wow. Wow. Yeah, that's insane, man. That's fucking insane. Hmm. You know, that's crazy, man. Steve Cohen. I actually didn't think I was going to talk about that, but um, I gotta look up something on what he said when he called the fans an idiot. Hold on a sec. Yeah, yeah, I want to actually get to what exactly he said actually. So let's get to it. Hold on. Sorry about my stomach. Okay, let me just do this actually. I got something I want to say about this too. I got something I want to fucking say, man. Because this right here really grinds my fucking gears, though, man. Um, so for those of you who may not know what the deal is, here's what's going on here. And this is from the New York Post. Don't expect a dip in the Mets payroll for next season. Team owner Steve Cohen expressed that sentiment Friday, responding to fan backlash, perhaps fueled by an internet aggregator, NYM underscore news, who misinterpreted information reported by the Post. As typical, the usual idiots misinterpreting a Post article on Mets payroll for 26, Cohen posted on X. I can't imagine our payroll to be lower than last year. It's always hard to predict, but that would be my best guess. Spot Track pecked the Mets payroll last season at $341.7 million, which ranked only behind the Dodgers and MLB. The Post reported the Mets calculated their payroll as standing at $310 million to $320 million with multiple holes remaining, and it's unlikely the team would surge into the Dodgers stratosphere of $400 million. Cohen, in a follow up post, indicated that many payroll calculations are short of reality. Payroll watchers always forget to budget for waivers claims, player movement from minors to majors, and trade deadline moves, Cohen said. That's how it typically works. Comments on social media were Cohen's first since September when he apologized to the fans after the team missed the playoffs. After losing the regular season finale in Miami, Cohen called the result unacceptable and vowed to find answers. Since then, President of Baseball Operations David Stearns, aka Frankie Coupons, has undertaken an overhaul of the roster, um, trading Brandon Nimmo to Texas before watching Pete Alonso and Edwin Diaz depart through free agency. Stearns hasn't sat idle. The team signed Jorge Polanco. Actually, yeah, I'll get into the Jorge Polanco thing in a separate episode. And as for the Devin Williams thing and all that other stuff, I already talked about that as well. And as far as the Luke Weaver, they signed him to a two-year contract worth $22 million. I'll do a further breakdown on that. Let's see. Yeah, so obviously the Mets still have an outfield hole to fill as far as left field. And I don't know what's going on with this whole idea of training Jeff McNeil, Kodak Senga, and David Peterson, creating further payroll flexibility needed. All right, I want to say something about this whole matter here. Now, look, it's one thing to for a particular user to actually misinterpret the payroll and stuff, but at the same time, Steve Cohen should have taken this another way, though. To call Mets fans the team that you brought, the team that you invested in about what 5 or 6 years ago, that's been rooting for the team for years, and you got the nerve to call them idiots. Listen, these fans are not fucking stupid. Okay, they're not stupid. And for the simple fact that they already know about the casino. They already know about the casino. And I get the fact that I was listening to one of the episodes of from the Borough podcast when Chris was explaining um that one of the reasons why that he got the casino is because he is trying to do a cleanup on the exterior of Citi Field. I'm not sure exactly where exactly outside of Citi Field he's trying to clean, but I digress on that one. And listen, Steve Cohen and David Stearns should be ashamed of themselves. Not only calling the fans idiots, but you gotta understand that these fans have a right to express how they feel. It's one thing to say it's a results business, but at the same token, you also have to understand that letting not only Nimmo go, not only letting Brendan Nimmo go to the Texas Rangers, not only you let Edwin Diaz go to the Dodgers, and then Peter Alonso going to the Baltimore Orioles, which I'll do a separate episode on these two. I already talked about the Brendan Nimmo thing in episode 109. If you like, you can check that out on YouTube and streaming platforms. The point I'm trying to make here is like you let them walk is one of the biggest mistakes ever. As for David Stearns, aka Frankie Coupons, let me tell you something, man. You hypocritical asshole. You talk all this talk about run prevention. What your ass is doing is not run prevention at all. That's not run prevention at all. You got a 35-year-old Marcus Semien, which, by the way, is not getting any younger either. And then on top of that, instead of getting a younger first baseman, you got fucking Jorge Polanco, which I will do a separate episode in regards to that. It is a fucking catastrophe. It's a fucking catastrophe here. What the hell were you thinking, Steve Cohen and David Stearns, aka Frankie Coupons? What the fuck were you thinking? You know what it indicates to me? You are too fucking afraid to take a damn risk. And then you want to worry about a player's age and the years? Guess what? Not every baseball player is going to want to sign a 3-year deal. Not every baseball player is going to do that. Like, for instance, you got Cody Bellinger and Kyle Tucker. They want multiple years. Kyle Tucker wants 10 to 11 years. You got Cody Bellinger who wants 6 to 8 years. Like, come on, man. You're using that as an excuse because you are too afraid to actually, get into to go against the grain, regardless of the person's health, regardless of each player's health situation whatsoever. Like, come on, man. And those fucking winter meetings was stale like fucking popcorn. All right. Like, this is fucking crazy and insane to me. All right. You two motherfuckers in the Mets organization, including the front office, y'all need to do better. The front office needs to do better than this. All right. You already wasted an opportunity of Dylan Cease going to the Blue Jays. You already wasted another opportunity of Robert Suarez going to the Atlanta Braves because y'all don't even realize that it's going to be hard to replace a closer like an Edwin Diaz who actually has 144 saves, tied with Johnny Franco, former Mets pitcher. I'm pretty sure many of you heard of him. Had 144 saves. where are you going to where and how are you going to fucking replace those numbers? How are you going to replace those fucking numbers? And you know what the worst part is? The Timmy Trumpet got taken to Los Angeles out of all fucking places. And then you want to have the audacity, especially you in the front office, want to be raising ticket prices and shit. I hate to say this, man, but y'all need to do better, man. Y'all really need to do better than this, man. Because y'all are a bunch of idiots. All right. Enough is enough, man. Yeah, I was gonna look through my phone with the exact thoughts that I was saying. Shout outs to Dom from Dominant Mets Nation, man. He's also covering the New York Mets off season and everything else. He's covering analysis of like the salary, the the budget, the money, and all other stuff. Make sure you subscribe to Dominant Mets Nation's channel, man. Check him out. All right. Let's see. Let's see if there's anything Mets related news that I want to actually get to before I wrap up. Let's see. Let me see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. See, Cohen's a fucking idiot, man. Yeah, he's a fucking idiot. Anyway, yeah, he's a fucking idiot. So, all right. So, let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let me see if there's anything going on. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Anything going on in Mets land? Let's see. Let's see. All right. So, oh my fucking gosh, man. What is with the hype with Luis Robert Jr.? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is fucking insane, man. All right, I'm gonna save that for another time, man. There's another. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. This is interesting. All right. So, in other Mets news, if there was a non-Juan Soto bright spot that emerged from the New York Mets' disastrous 2025 campaign, it was the emergence of Nolan Lightning McLean. Speaking of Nolan McLean, man, he was at an event alongside with Jonathan and Brendan Sproat, doing like a Christmas event. Yeah, you know what? Let me look that up because let me look this up. All right, so Nolan McLean, um, Brandon Sproat, and Jonah Tong doing a Christmas event. Okay. I can actually, let me see. You know what? Though? I'm going to save this. Actually. So let me just continue where I left off here. I'm going to save this. All right. So the organization's top pitching prospect dazzled in his 5-week MLB debut, going 5-1 with a 2.06 ERA in 8 starts while setting some significant records along the way. Team USA came calling this week as they added the 24-year-old to their roster for the 2026 World Baseball Classic, which runs from March 5th through the 17th. With such little pro experience, his selection is a surprise, especially considering he and fellow Mets hurler Clay Holmes were only the second and third starting pitchers added to the U.S. roster alongside Pittsburgh Pirates superstar Paul Skeens. The Americans also added Minnesota Twins ace Joe Ryan to their staff. Holmes was dependable in his first year as a starting pitcher after converting from a closer role with the Yankees. In Queens, he went 12-8 with a 3.53 ERA and 129 strikeouts and 165.2 innings pitched. While it is a significant honor, there are some concerns that will come with McLean heading to the World Baseball Classic. This is going to be his first full season in the majors, where he is projected to serve as New York's ace. Yep, he's the ace. That means a frontline starter's workload for a young arm that has never thrown more than 113.2 innings in a season, dating back to his collegiate days at Oklahoma State. Work with Team USA not only adds more innings, but tweaks a normal ramp-up process that comes with a full spring training. Instead, he'll have a maximum of 3 weeks with the Mets down at their facilities in Port St. Lucie, Florida, before the World Baseball Classic starts. Okay. All right. I want to go over the rundown of the New York Knicks schedule, so let me just grab something real quick. Let me just all right. Alrighty then. All right, so I want to give you the rundown of what's going on with the New York Knicks' schedule. So, New York Knicks versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. They will be playing against each other on Tuesday, December 23rd, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on MSG. Cleveland Cavaliers versus New York Knicks Thursday, Christmas Day at 12 p.m. Eastern Time on ABC/ESPN. New York Knicks versus Atlanta Hawks Saturday, December 27th, 8 p.m. on MSG. That's the channel. That's the TV channel, in case anybody wondering. New York Knicks versus New Orleans Pelicans, Monday, December 29th, 8 p.m. on MSG. Also on MSG, New York Knicks versus San Antonio Spurs. Wednesday, December 31st, which is New Year's Eve, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on MSG. And of course, Atlanta Hawks versus New York Knicks Friday, January 2nd, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Amazon Prime Video. Philadelphia Sixers versus New York Knicks Saturday, January 3rd on MSG. And there's more I am going to go over. Saturday. Hang on a second. Hold on a second here. Wait. Hang on one second here. Hang on one second here. Yes, Saturday. Philadelphia Sixers versus New York Knicks Saturday, January 3rd at 7:30 p.m. on MSG. New York Knicks versus Detroit Pistons. They play on Monday, January 5th at 7 p.m. on Peacock. Los Angeles Clippers versus New York Knicks Wednesday, January 7th, 7:30 p.m. on MSG, along with New York Knicks versus Phoenix Suns Friday, January 9th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on MSG. New York Knicks versus Portland Trailblazers Sunday, January 11th at 6 p.m. on MSG. Also airing on MSG is, let me see. Also airing on MSG is New York Knicks versus Sacramento Kings. Hang on a second. Yeah, no, hold on. New York Knicks versus Portland Trailblazers Sunday, January 11th, 6 p.m. on MSG. Also airing on MSG is New York Knicks versus Sacramento Kings Wednesday, January 14th. January 14th. Yeah, 10 p.m. I believe. Yeah, it's 10 p.m. Yeah, 10 p.m. on MSG, 10 p.m. All right, New York Knicks versus Golden State Warriors, Thursday, January 15th at 10 p.m. on Amazon Prime Video. Phoenix Suns versus New York Knicks Saturday, January 17th, 7:30 p.m. on MSG, and of course Dallas Mavericks versus New York Knicks on Monday, January 19th, 5 p.m. Eastern Time on NBC. Brooklyn Nets versus New York Knicks Wednesday, January 21st at 7:30 p.m. on MSG. Following New York Knicks versus Philadelphia 76ers Saturday, January 24th, 3 p.m. on MSG. All right. So yeah, there you go right there. There you go. Right there. And I want to go over the New York Giants schedule. How many games? I know they got like 2 games left, actually, unfortunately. Yeah, they got 2 games left. Damn. So hold on a second here. Hold on 1 second here. Okay. So the next game the New York Giants are playing against the Las Vegas Raiders Saturday, December 27th at 4 p.m., which is going to be featured on the NFL Network at 8 p.m. and also on Peacock. And of course, Dallas Cowboys versus New York Giants, January 4th of my birthday or Saturday, or Saturday, January 3rd, depends on the schedule. So ABC 7, ESPN, Fox 5, Fox One, CBS, or ESPN Unlimited. It depends. It really depends. All right. So that is your rundown of the New York Knicks and the New York Giants schedule when they're playing. And yeah, I'm going to wrap up right now, actually. I'm going to wrap up right now, actually. Hold on, let me find. All right. So all righty then. All right. Time for. Hold on. Hang on a second. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. All righty then. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, there it is. All right, stream choices on the go, man. Let's get to it right here, right now. All right, make sure you follow the Sports Edition Show platform. Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast on Facebook alongside with Blue Sky Social, Threads, and Instagram, alongside with my other podcast shows that I'm doing, which is my entertainment review show, Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast, my comedy, Off the Meat Rack Chains New York Avenue podcast. And you can also follow your host with the most, G Money Stacks 555 in Queens, New York. All right. When you go to the link in bio, you're gonna see a link that says excellent fun. You're gonna see a link that says excellent fun vibrant talks pod. All right. When you click on there, you're gonna see a whole list of streaming podcast link feeds. You're going to see some podcast link feeds, all right? So you can't miss it. And when you look in there, you're going to see Audible, Odyssey, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts. Don't forget to leave a 5-star rating and a review on Apple Podcasts, as well as you're listening to on other streaming platforms, which includes Castbox FM, Diesel Listen Notes, Moon FM Podcast, Overhaul FM Podcast, Player FM, Pandora, Pocket Cast, Podo Polo, Podorama Podcast, Index Podcast, Addict, Podchaser, Podverse, Podcast Guru, Podcatcher, Podcast Republic, Snipped, Spotify. Don't forget to add the podcast to your Spotify playlist. All right. And also don't forget to also you can also listen on Spotify for creators, TuneIn Radio, Fountain, Good Pods, iHeartRadio, the number one app where you can listen to your favorite music artists, including singers in R&B and other music genres, rap, hip hop artists, your favorite radio stations on the AM and the FM, and of course, you can listen to the podcast episodes for free. You don't need a credit card or debit card to download iHeartRadio. All you need to do is is download iHeartRadio onto your phones, which includes iPhones, Android phones. You can even download to your iPads, Android tablets, and of course laptops are including Apple Mac and alongside with Dell laptop models. And of course, you can also download your favorite episodes as well. You can even listen to the episodes while you are in your cars, whether you are going to work or any other destinations. You can also listen to it while you are on your way to, classes, what and coming from those destinations to the comfort of your home. All right. And yes, and yes, make sure you click on that subscribe button alongside with the notification bell, so you'll be notified when I'll be on the air via live stream with more new new video podcast episodes. And leave a like and a comment. Express your thoughts in the comments on how you feel about the whole Steve Cohen thing, calling Mets fans idiots, and alongside with the whole situation with the whole with the other topics that I just talked about out of the blue. All right. And you can also share the podcast and the link tree link with audio streaming platforms where you can listen to the episodes with your husbands, your wives, your boyfriends, girlfriends, people you are cool with from work. And of course, enable alerts, which is the notification bell, so you be notified when each video episode is uploaded to the YouTube channel page. And like I said earlier, if you missed episodes 104 through 109, please go ahead and check them out and express your thoughts in the comment section on how you felt about the topics in the sports topics. All right. So there you go right there. There you go right there, man. I'm about to wrap up right here, right now, actually. I need to recharge. So if there's anything that I missed or anything like that, I'll circle back in one of the following episodes. All right. So yeah, so that's gonna do it for me, man. That's gonna do it for me. I'm your man, G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator. Rhymes with now or later. And I'd like to take the time and say thank you to each and every one of you for listening, streaming, and watching the episodes whatsoever. And you could have listened to any other sports podcast in the whole world, but you chose to listen to this podcast as well. And of course, remember, the grind doesn't stop. Hard work pays off. If you want something, you have to work hard and earn it. It's not going to be given to you on a fucking silver platter. And of course, find your niche in whatever career field you're trying to do. And don't let anybody tell you that there's no money in certain things and all that other stuff. And Rome wasn't built in a day, though, man. These things take time to grow, especially if you're trying to start a podcast. Make sure you actually be yourself behind the microphone while recording your topics to discuss. And of course, consistency is important. Be on your P's and Q's creatively, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. That gets you into your zone alongside with tunnel vision. And of course, also remember, podcasting is a grind and it's a marathon, not a sprint. All right. I'll be back next time. Stay tuned for more new topics in the next episode. Peace and one love. Peace and one love. I'll be back next time on the flip side. Take care of yourselves, and I hope you are being careful out there in this cold weather, and of course with the Christmas shopping. Make sure you do your Christmas shopping in advance so you don't miss out on any discounts whatsoever. All right. Take it easy. Peace. Take care. One love. Good night, everybody.